Hi everyone, my name is Vanessa Chivers and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in Sydney, Australia. You can probably tell from my accent that I don't originate from Australia, but I moved here from the UK 17 years ago. I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for 7 years now. And when I first started making cards, which was about 13 years ago, as a hobby, I just bought the odd thing from the craft shop to make my cards. I had no idea what I was doing then. But since I've been with Stampin' Up, my card making experience has grown, and it's just something I love doing. And I'm hoping today that I'll actually introduce those of you who've never done card making or are very new to card making to some basic tips and techniques just to make some very quick and easy cards. So I thought I'd do a series of videos, so this one's going to be the first in the series, and just really to make very quick cards with just stamp, ink and paper. So that's my plan for the day, or for this session. So hopefully that will be of interest to some of you. So why don't we just get straight into the making cards, and I'll show you as I go along the different supplies that I'm using, and we'll see what we can come up with. Hold on. Okay, I've turned the camera around so it's ready to get into action. So what supplies would you need to make a simple, quick and easy card? Well, the first thing is some cardstock. So what I would usually use is some Whisper White cardstock from Stampin' Up! And you'll see here that this is a piece of A4 cardstock, but you can use letter size as well. And what we will do is we'll cut this into half, and then we can make a card from each half by folding it in due course. Another option is to use a note card. Stampin' Up! Do a pack of these Whisper White note cards, which is a really quick and easy way to make some cards. So you'll see that's another option. So you need some cardstock, a base cardstock that you're going to be able to stamp on. Then you're going to need some stamps. So for that you will need a stamp set. So an example is here, we've got 2 stamp sets. Stampin' Up! Do 2 types of stamp set. One is a red rubber stamp set, like this, and you'll see the actual stamps are made out of red rubber, and they have the design, the image, or the sentiment on the red rubber there. And then when you get them, they come with stickers, and those stickers that you apply to the back of those particular stamps. Or you can get a stamp set which is photopolymer, and you'll see the difference here is these stamps are totally clear, but they make just as good as the image. In order to use these stamps, you need to apply them to a clear block of some sort. So here's one size of clear block, but you can get lots of different sizes to which you adhere the stamps. And the red rubber stamps here are called cling stamps, and they've got a sticky back so that they actually stick to the clear block like that. And the same with the photopolymer. You can just take them off the sheet that they come on, like this, peel it away and put them onto a block. Now the usual advice is to use a block that's actually the correct size, that's just bigger than the image itself. So in this case here, you'll see this fits perfectly. If you were to put it on a block this size, it's a bit too big, and what can happen is that when you're actually inking it up, you can end up with so much extra ink around the block that you just get that everywhere and all onto your card. So try and pick a block that's just the right size for the image, and you can place it on like that. If you don't have blocks in the short term, possible options are you could use a clear lid of some sort, plastic lid as long as it was rigid, and you could apply it to that. So that's another option, but really the blocks are great because they're solid, firm, easy to hold when you're actually lining up the image for stamping. So you've got your stamps, you've got some clear blocks, you need some ink. So ink pads ink comes in format here of an ink pad, or you can actually also get them in the form of an ink pen, a Stampin' Right pen like this. And you can actually use one of the ends, which is a thick end here, for inking up your images as well. And that's a good way you can do multicoloured images. But today we're just going to stick with looking at the ink pad as we've got here. So we've got the cardstock, we've got the stamps, we've got an ink pad, we've got something to clean the stamps with afterwards, because if you're going to be using the images, the stamps with different colours, you have to clean them. So a good way is to have a chamois level like this, which you can clean the stamps in. You could use a baby wipe in the short term, but that sometimes can leave a residue, so chamois leather like this is great. So they're the main supplies you'd need to get going. I've got a few colours of ink pad we'll use today, so colours, and you can also got a basic black colour that you can use for sentiments as well and for images. Alright, so let's get going with an card itself. So I've got a piece of A4 Whisper White cardstock here, which I need to cut in half to start with. So I'm going to use a stamping trimmer here. I'm going to put the paper in here, and because it's A4, I'm just cutting it just over the 14.8 centimetre mark. If you use letter pattern, here's the cut to trim it there. So I've ended up with two pieces. Now the Whisper White cardstock here is quite thin, so you could actually fold it manually and press out the crease, but one of the most accurate ways is to use a scorer. So here's got a scoring tool, which I'm actually scoring exactly halfway across the card. It creates a score line here, which therefore you can fold really easily without any creases. Okay, while I'm here, I'll actually score the second piece so that we've got that available to use. And we want to make a card like that. And there's the score line. Just move the trimmer away. So an additional thing you can do when you've folded it is to use a thing called a bone folder here, or your finger, but the bone folder is great to actually smooth out the fold line, and it makes it flat, so the card will, when it's standing, stand much better there. So I've got two bases ready there. Then I've also got a note card available here. So the note cards actually come flat to start with, as you can see here, but they're pre-scored for you. So the great thing about that is you can just fold it straight away without having to score it. These are slightly thicker, they're still Whisper White, but they're just a slightly thicker card for these note cards. And you can see the difference in size between the two. They're great for thank you notes, little birthday cards, gift cards, for example. You might want to put some gift card ins or some money. It's a great little size that you can do that with a note card. Alright, so we're going to first of all start with this half A4 piece of card, and we're going to decorate this with this stamp set. This is sort of borders around. It's got some border stamps which are great for actually building up an image on the card, and then we can put a greeting in the middle. Now I've already taken out this stamp here and I've put it onto a clear block like this, so you can see I've aligned it there. Okay, I'll just move the stamp set away. I'm going to use two colours in this card. I'm going to use one called Misty Moonlight, which is a lovely blue. Okay, there, and another one called Bumblebee, which is a yellowy colour, a deep yellow, a honey colour almost. Nice colour there. So they're the two ink pads ready for use, and then I've got the cardstock. So in order to ink up a stamp, the easiest way to do this is to actually, once the stamp is on the block, is to just tap on the ink pad, moving the stamp around, making sure that you've fully inked up the image. You can see there. Once you've done that, you can get your cardstock here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a border along the top. So I'm just going to turn the card around slightly so it's easier to see, and I'm going to stamp the image there, and you'll see that it's created a border along the top. I'm going to do the same here on the bottom, and I'm going to turn it around just so I can hold the card with my left hand and put the image there. So you'll see I've created a border at the top and the bottom there. Now I'm just going to clean this stamp because I want to do the same border again but with a different colour. So I'm going to take the chamois pad here, just give the stamp a good clean, and now I'm taking the bumblebee ink. I'm inking that up as well in the same method, and then I'm just going to do another border just inside the card, the Misty Moonlight one, and you see there I've just built up a banner at the top and the banner at the bottom. Ink it up again and do the same at the bottom. So I've created the top and bottom border there for this card. I'll just clean that up. Then I've got a sentiment I want to put in the middle, so I've actually got here a thank you sentiment. I'm going to put that on a smaller block if it will go. It will go, but it actually goes at a diagonal, which it doesn't matter. You can put it across the diagonal because you can still see the words through the block, so you know where you're stamping it. And I want to do it a thank you. I'm just going to do just a slight angle across the middle there, and I'm going to do that in the Misty Moonlight again and put a stamp there, and I put thank you. Now you could leave that as that, just very easy, just very simple. Or another option was, if you wanted to take the bumblebee again, you could put a thank you there and a thank you there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So they really know that you're thanking them. And there you've created a quick card with just inking up, stamping and the paper there. And I think that looks just, I love it. I love the border stamp. Looks a nice border on it. Looks really pretty. You could have turned the card around and you could have done a border at a diagonal, for example. Now I'm going to take one of the note cards here and use the same images, but I might just do it at an angle. What I'm going to do is just place a piece of Stampin' Up paper underneath in order that I can stamp off the edge of the card. So I've put some good paper here. Okay, I'm going to take the bumblebee here. Sometimes if the card comes up, you could open it up to flatten it out. And these you have there, then you should have to be careful if you don't want to go on this side of the paper. But it does work like that as well. Okay, so let's take this card, and I'm going to do a couple of, I'm just going to go across like this. And that creates a nice little border like that, and I might stick with the same colour and do it in the opposite corner like that. Just make sure I've inked up, and then like that, and you've created a quick image. And I could actually leave the note card as a landscape note card like that, and then if you want to put a greeting, sentiment in the middle, we've got hello again, we've got best wishes, or we've got thank you. I might pick best wishes from the stamp set. It's just slightly longer, that one. I think I can still get it onto this here. And I'm going to pick the Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to put best wishes. I don't know whether to do it at an angle or not. Do it at a slight angle like that. And there's created a quick best wishes card. Simple, effective. You don't have to do too much work if you like simple cards like that, and as you're learning to stamp, that is a great option for you. Now I'm just going to create one other card with a different stamp set. So that was using a border stamp, but now I've got another piece of card here, a wistful white there. What I'm going to do is take this stamp set called Healing Hugs, and I'm going to use this lovely flower image to just build up a little design on the paper, on the card. So I have a block here on which I put the flower stamp on, just like that. And the colour I'm going to use for this is called Highland Heather. So I'm just closing these ink pads up so that I don't stick my fingers in them or drop my card in it, which is something that can easily be done. Oops, I'm just going to take the Highland Heather stamp set here, inside out the way, and I'm going to ink up this beautiful flower by tapping away on the ink pad. You'll see it's got ink on it there. Now this stamp is called a distinctive stamp, so it's actually got lots of dark and light shades which come out on the stamp when you stamp it, and it's absolutely beautiful. So you can see there, can you see how you've got the dark, light areas and almost white areas as well? Absolutely beautiful how those stamps are designed. And you could do the same and have one coming from the opposite corner, like that, and creating a card. You could do it sideways as well, and then you can put your greeting in the middle. There's a nice one here called you've got to get well soon, or wishing you a quick and complete recovery. I think, oh, I'm going to do the get well soon in the middle. So just take the stamps, take the block, put adhere the stamp to it like that. Make sure you've got it the right way round. You could either do the same colour. I think I might just do this one in black in the middle. Ink it up with the black, like that, and then you put your get well soon in the centre, like that. And if you wanted a little bit more detail on the outside, this stamp set comes with some leaves, so we could just take the leaves, put them onto a block like this, like so, and just put some light leaves. Now what a trick with stamping is to stamp off. So the first one you stamp on paper, then I'll just show you the second one would come out as a lighter image. So I'm going to stamp the first one on the paper, and the second one is just going to be a lighter image I'm actually going to put on the card. Then I might put a couple more just on that side there, like so. And that's just filled in a bit of the white space and give it an extra detail. So you can build a card up with as few or as many stamps as you want, just to get the design, the required design. So they're a very quick and easy way to simple stamping there. Next week I'll introduce some additional ways to build up your card. But I think starting with some simple ones is the best way. So I'll just move this away, show you what we've ended up with today. We've got three simple cards there. Just move everything out of the image. Two cards there, and then we've got this very simple one here, Best Wishes. Which again, you could fill in space or you could leave it as is. The next one I'll show you how you can build it up with just a couple of extra layers to give it a bit more texture, the card. But these are good enough, you can send to people quickly and easily, or make up a stock of cards that you can send to people as required. I hope you've enjoyed my first YouTube video today. I'll put the details of the supplies I use against the video and in the comments, and hope to see you next time. Thank you. Bye.